It's time to get oiled up, slap on your best pair of trunks and step into the squared circle. SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 is making its entrance. This chapter in the WrestleMad franchise lets you choose a faction and fight your way up the rankings of the WWE, leaving a pile of bruised, sweaty men in your wake. With no risk of injury, you can pull off some spectacular moves, meaning that sports entertainment has never been so, entertaining. SmackDown vs. Raw is jam-packed full of features. There's a whopping roster of wrestlers, both old and new, for you to step into the leather boots of. Should none of the current crop take your fancy, you can always make a superstar of your own. With the option to tweak everything from eye colour to the thickness of your neck, you can either create a really believable avatar or go for something totally outlandish. Once you've created a character, you can tweak everything about them, create special finishes, and plan an entrance for them too. After all that's done, you can jump into the matches through the WWE Universe to try them out. This crafty calendar is a mix of career and exhibition modes and randomly generates episodes of the weekly WWE shows for you to take part in. The day-to-day grind is punctuated by some awesome pay-per-view showdowns with some pretty special match types. Universe will then adjust rankings and allocate title shots accordingly. Pretty cool for a calendar. Cruiserweights new to the world of wrestling may want to take note of these handy tips for getting your opponent down in 1, 2, 3. The key to SmackDown vs. Raw's matches is momentum. Building a good head of steam will give you the upper hand in battle, and if you max out your meter, you'll be able to unleash your finishing move, which usually involves a meeting between the floor and your foe's face. Keeping the flow of battle firmly on your side will involve a bit of kung fu trickery. Reversing modes in SmackDown is all about well-timed button presses. A quick tap of reverse will see your wrestler worm their way out of any hold like a big sweaty Houdini. Reversing grapples is often a good way to turn the tide of battle in your favor, should you ever be struggling. And also, chairs can help with this too. If you've enjoyed breaking tables and chairs, then perhaps you should try it on a larger scale. Battlefield Bad Company 2 is an explosive sequel that reunites us with Preston Marlowe and the rest of B Company. This time round, the boys are travelling up and down South America in search of a missing super weapon, whilst Russian forces are poised to invade. There are many elements that make the game great, but our favourite has to be the destructible scenery. No more shall an enemy cower behind a wall, not when you can tear down the house around them. Bad Company 2's multiplayer is also of note and is easily one of the best around. A great selection of weapons as well as vehicles provide a fresh challenge every time you log on. It's time for some SmackDown vs. Raw pros versus cons. The first pro is their absolutely massive roster of professional wrestlers. Not only have all the current faves been rendered with impeccable digital pecs, but a whole host of legends also made the cut too. When the rattlesnake Steve Austin shows on the scene and starts busting out stone-cold stunners, any nostalgic wrestling fan will let out a sort of whelp of glee, even if a stunner is just a glorified neck tug. Another pro would be the simple brilliance that is the WWE Universe. This cunning device gives you full reign to go ahead and play the matches you want, whilst simultaneously keeping track of all your actions and rewarding your progress with unlocks and title fights. A con would be the rebounding AI. When you feel you've put the foe down for good, it can be quite frustrating to see them pop back up again as if nothing's happened. This frustrates especially in the cage matches, where climbing over the top is nigh on impossible, as your foe will always spring up and drag you back down into the unforgiving canvas. With the sound of the bell, that's all the time we've got for this super review. The outcome of this matchup is that SmackDown vs. Raw is a must-have for any WrestleManiac and is the perfect introduction to the series for those new to hitting grown men around the head, with chairs. The outcome, in short, we're all winners. Ah, how PC.